Alright, today we're going to talk about graphing parabolas, the quadratic function in standard form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Before we only dealt with, let me get closer to the shape. Before we only dealt with y equals ax squared plus c, and the a told us whether it was upside down or right side up. It also told us whether it was wider or narrower than the parent function y equals 1x squared, depending on that number. And then that c value told us whether we were going up or down on that y-axis. For example, y equals 2x squared minus 3. Well, my negative 3 tells me it's down 3, and that 2 as an a tells me it's right side up, and that it's 2 times as large. So from this point, I would go over 1 up 2, over 2 up 4, because it's 2 times as much. All right, so today, the graph, including that bx, is a parabola that has all this same info and a bit more. So it has an axis of symmetry, that's that middle point. It's been x equals 0 the whole time. Now I'm showing you how to find your axis of symmetry. It's just a little bit of a formula. The opposite of b over 2a. So whatever b is, take the opposite sign and divide it by 2 times a. And that vertex has to be on that axis of symmetry, so the x-coordinate is the vertex. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. All right, let's put this right into work. Y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 7 is an equation. It's a parabola. Let's find the axis of symmetry and find the vertex. So the first thing to do is identify A, B, and C, what they are, before you can plug them in for this formula here. So go ahead and do that and plug it in and see if you get what I get. And then I'll show you the rest. So we're now looking up here, a lot more stuff, but pay attention to up here. Your A value is negative 2, your B value is 12, and your C value is negative 7. So when I plug in the opposite of B, it's negative 12 divided by 2 times A. Well, A is negative 2, so that's 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. Negative 12 divided by negative 4 is positive 3. So x equals 3 is my axis of symmetry, okay? Then, to find my vertex, part B, I need to find my vertex. I know my x-coordinate is 3. I have to find the y when x equals 3. Well, I know how to do that. I plug it into the equation. So I do 3 for my x's and solve for it. Why don't you go ahead and try to do that? Plug in 3 for your x's and solve for it. All right, when you do so, 3 squared is the first thing to do. You get 9. Then you can multiply and you get negative 18 plus 36. Minus 7, which is 18, minus 7, which is 11. So my vertex is 3, 11. So part C is to graph this. That's the goal here, was to graph. So I have to take these things that I just did every time to graph. So my first step is to always draw that axis symmetry. I always draw a dashed line. My line is x equals 3. So that's that vertical line at 3. And I drew it dashed, and I labeled it x equals 3. Always label. Then I'm going to plot my vertex. My vertex is 311. So that's way up here at 11. So 311. Pause the video if you need to. Then everything else we've already done. We're making a table of values. But we're not going to use negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 1, 2. Those values there would give you like this part of the parabola. It wouldn't be around the axis of symmetry. So what you want to do is pick the points around it. So the points that are around 3 are 1, 2, 4, and 5. And I actually only need to do the math for 2 of those points. So I know it seems like a lot of work, but I only need to do the math for 2 of them. So I'm going to pick the smaller ones to do the math. So I'm plugging in 1 for x into the equation and 2 for x and getting a corresponding y value. This is 11. And then for 4 and 5, when I plug in 2 for x, I should get the same value when I plug in 4 for x. Check it if you'd like. And if I plug in 1 for x, I should get the same value for 5. So I'm only going to plug in 1 and 2. So I have my equation, y equals negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 7. So I'm plugging in 1 for x, right? 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 12 times 1 is 12. and minus 7. Negative 2 plus 12 is 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. So that's my 0.13 right there. And then my reflective point is on that other side. It's actually already there. Then I'm plugging in 2. 2 squared is 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 12 times 2 is 24. Negative 8 plus 24 is 16. 16 minus 7 is 9. So I've got the 0.29, which is right there, and the opposite side, which is right there. 9 and 3. And then step 4, or whatever step this is, I'm going to draw my curve. Why is the curve upside down? Oh yeah, because there's a negative there. Why is it more narrow? Oh yeah, because that's a 2. What's my y-intercept? Oh, it's down there at negative 7. All right, all those facts we still know. Yay!